showtime. Woo, woo. Woo, 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 woo. Silent and profiling. Woo, it's live and it's coming. Woo!
A while since we've heard the big dog roar. Spear. This one sure will. Lining him up for the Super Bowl. Oh, good.
Inside. Big E still moving.
Oh, the spear.
Big E putting it.
Become unglued. And Big E. Wow. Catapult. Kick. Rock Cesaro. And now Big E with a spear. Oh, my God. Oh. Spear. Slingshot spear.
Welcome to the Mafia Sports Report on the Buffalo Fan Base Network. I'm your host, Tommy, to the highest degree, to the TOP from the 313. And by my side is my main man, my Toucan Sam, the one they call the coughing man, Mr. Mikey.
It's been that way for about a week
on,
now,
man?
brother. It's
I figured I'd switch it up, you know.
yeah. It's been a rough week. However, the Bills are now 10-3.
We are 10-3.
Still
Mr.
sitting
Mikey.
at the top of the AFC.
We are. And I found there was a great little, speaking of that, there was a great little stat here I want to show everybody real quick, just to kind of, for all everybody is kind of Debbie Downing, being Debbie Downers on this Buffalo Bills team, I want to kind of show you something. And what's going on, Scott? I appreciate you hopping on as usual. So, after 13 games last season, here is the comparison. 2021 points 4, 2021 353, 2022 363. Points against 2021 229, 2022 221. Yet we were 7-6 last year, Mikey, and we are 10-3 now. By the way, a much harder schedule this year, and not dealing with the amount of injuries, and we have played 2 less home games because of the weather, and 2 because of the schedule, because it's 18 weeks now, and this was the season we had to play less home games. So a lot has happened, and yet we are still 10-3 and are still on top of the AFC. Now, yes, Scott, the Dolphins' loss was lovely. And that just kind of shows you, and that's my point, Scott, and anybody else watching now. Look at all the teams that were hyped up for a little bit, right? They went on their rolls. This is what happens in the NFL season. It's a long season. You have your highs, you have your lows. Some teams just have lows, no doubt about it, right? And those are what? The 4-win teams, the Houstons, right? The Arizona Cardinals, which
Denver
are playing
Broncos.
The Broncos. What? Exactly. The Raiders, right? You have a lot of teams that are bad, right? And then you got a lot of teams that are good, but have their little droughts, right? Midway, maybe late, maybe early. Tennessee is having one now. They started okay. Huge loss to us, but then they went on an epic roll. They were in second in the AFC for a while. And everyone's saying, Tennessee, watch out, right? Everybody. I heard Casey's not going to lose again. Doesn't matter if the Bills don't lose. We're never going to get the number 1 seed. It's over. Right? And look at this. Look at this. And the Viking fans trolling Bills, right? They're 2-2 since that game. We are now 4-0 since that game. So my point is, guys, for everything that's gone on, we're 10-3. I understand that, you know, not everything's so peachy and awesome with the offense and, you know, even on the defense, right? There's always something to criticize. That's no one's perfect. No team's perfect. There was only one that I remember, and that happened in 1972, and Dolphin fans will never let you forget about it.
Right.
But other than that, guys, this is how it goes. And yes, of course, we can get better. There's things to improve. But you guys all should be happy where we're sitting at 10-3. I mean, honestly, listen, for as much as me and Mikey come on post game, we ran a little bit. Sometimes we give a little Debbie Downer-ish a little bit. At the end of the day, though, when you sit back and realize, it's like, God damn, even after all that bad playing, we still won. And it just shows you the fight and scrappiness of this team. Because look at all the other teams that don't have that, right? And they are losing. They're bad records. They're not making the playoffs. So, guys, that's all I'm saying. Let me get to some of your comments.
Yeah, Scott nails it.
I wish there was P game, but there's not. Yeah. I'm going to get one day. I will. I apologize. One day we will. I haven't gotten that point yet.
We do appreciate you riding with us though, P game.
I'll get that one day though.
Yeah, go to Scott's real quick because Scott nails it.
Yeah, the long one here.
Yeah, he says, I think we want our cake and we eat it too. Reflections is we love blowouts, yet complain we can't win close games. They've done it both. I guess it's performance style points that bothers most. This isn't the college football championship. Style points don't matter in the NFL. Right. Josh Allen said it in the post game yesterday. Whether you win by 1 or you win by 100, the W's all that matters.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, would I love to see them blowing people out every week? Absolutely. But when you get to the playoffs, you don't have a lot of blowouts.
No, absolutely not.
You had the almighty Kansas City Chiefs on the ropes with the Denver Broncos yesterday.
Right.
You had Dallas Cowboys walking into a 1-win Houston team and barely escaped.
Right.
With a 3-point win. So it's going to happen. We went in there. The Jets have a top 5 defense, and really it's a top 3 defense by all the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And we dropped 20 on them.
Right.
And we didn't even play very well.
Yeah.
And we dropped 20 on them.
100%. And if I were to tell you, if I were to somehow be a psychic and tell you in the offseason that everything that's happened so far would happen, there was no way in living hell that y'all would say the Buffalo Bills would be 10-3. Yeah. I'm sorry, not with this schedule. Now, if we had a cushy schedule like last season, we did have a cushy schedule. I'm not going to lie. If we had that schedule, I would say, you know what? Okay, no Vaughn, no Micah Hyde for this season. Jordan Poyer missing a lot of games, a lot of other injuries. Okay. Yeah, but we're playing this team, that team. Okay, yeah, I can see us winning those games. This season, we had a rough schedule. We still do. We don't have an easy schedule. We still got the Dolphins, we got the Bengals left. Patriots, you guys know, have a good defense. Their offense stinks.
So get this. Our schedule this year, we've had the Chiefs, who are the number 2 seed, the Baltimore, who's the number 3 seed. We play the Bengals, who are 4. We get Miami next week, who's the 5. We play the Tennessee Titans, who are 6.
Mm-hmm.
The Chargers we don't play, but then the Jets are 8. The Patriots are 9. Then we go over to the NFC. We have the Vikings, who are the 2, and then the Lions, who are on the bubble trying to make it in. I think they're the 8th right now. The Packers, who are the 9. So that's more than half our games against playoff teams this year.
And not to mention some scrappy teams we played where a lot of people were like, that team sucked. The Lions, who just, by the way, beat the Vikings handingly, right? Pretty much whooped their ass until the end there. Vikings kind of scored some bullshit points at the end. And I remember I had some tweets in people going, the Lions 4, you guys beat a 4-win team. They're talking about Lions potentially making the playoffs. That's a whole different team. And we played that team on their highest. I'm talking about feeling good Lions. And we played them. We didn't play them week 2 when there are no wins or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. So Cleveland, another team that's a scrappy team at times. They beat the Bengals earlier in the season. They kicked their ass.
Mm-hmm.
We played them and we handled our business. Wasn't pretty, but we still won. It's another scrappy team. So we played, even the bad teams were some scrappy teams that we beat. You know what I mean? No, I don't think any of these games were like games I was going, man, this team's really bad.
Even the Rams, who have a bad record now, were a healthy Rams.
Exactly. A healthy Stafford, week 1, feeling the hype on the road, right? They still got Aaron Darnold. They still got some weapons. They still had Kupp at the time, right? So Come on now. I'm just saying. Show us a little. You got to show this team a little bit more love. Yeah. Speaking of that,
He did that shit last.
Doesn't look like an offense that's good enough to win the Super Bowl right now.
Okay.
Josh, on you speak about.
Yeah, from the guy who probably won't get in.
I go to school here, and
Okay.
You fucking, that guy's a clown, bro. Mikey's coughing, guys. Don't worry. Don't worry. Yeah, I hate that guy too, bro. He's had problems with Buffalo players from the time he was reporting for the Buffalo, like coming in as a reporter for Buffalo Bills. He's a joke. He's a clown. That wasn't even a question. That was just more of a statement. And it's
Like, what did you expect Josh to say? Was he looking for the same response that Hyde and Poyer gave him when they clapped back at him?
yeah, he might have. He might have been like he. Well, I'll tell you what, he got his little clickbait, but it's going to be all bad. Bills Mafia ain't putting up with that. I don't know who agree with that. Like, who would agree with that guy?
No, there was talk about it on like on Good Morning Football. Like, you don't do that as a journalist.
That's what I mean. Exactly. So it's not even like, if he presented it differently, I'd be like, okay, it's a fair. Like, if he would have said, "Hey, Josh, heading into the playoffs with the way this team's playing right now, do you think your offense can beat some of these, top, better ranked defenses?" Whatever, something like that. But he
Or
didn't.
Even,
He just made
even
a
if he
statement.
wants to keep that, Do
Right?
you think your offense is a Super Bowl offense?
Yeah.
It's a
Mikey's
question,
down.
not a statement.
Chewy. Yeah, Mikey
Yeah.
is coffee, Mikey, man.
It's been going on for about a week. This bug is nasty, and I've been fighting through it, but
He's gonna be all right. He's gonna be all right.
I'll live.
So back to topic. So yeah, Sullivan is just a clown. And I think most of the reporters know that too. The players obviously do. If I'm a player, obviously you gotta answer the question. He's in that, he has the credentials to be there. But like, if he ever wanted to interview me like solo, like, he's lost.
No one's gonna do that.
No, he's probably lost every single opportunity, if he ever had one left, to interview.
I
any of these
guarantee you
guys.
he didn't after last year when Hyde and
oh,
Poyer like
100%.
Micah Hyde is about the easiest guy to talk to, him and Poyer,
Yeah.
and he pissed them off. Like, you
Yeah,
don't
you-
do that. Like,
yeah, exactly.
that's a way to burn bridges with players.
Right. You don't think that shit spreads across the locker room? You don't think Josh
Right.
got back? I mean, of course they already knew from last year, or
Yeah.
whatever. But you don't think Josh went back and be like, bro, you believe this clown? Like, what he just said? Like,
Right.
at the post, I'd be like, bro,
You want to ask me a question? You want to form a question at me of do I think that? That's fine. But making a statement and just to get my reaction, okay.
that's all it was. Yeah. Josh handled it well. Josh is he's a smooth
Seasoned pro.
operator. I gotta.
He's a
tell you,
seasoned
bro.
pro. His dad taught him
Boy,
correctly.
he's good. Yeah,
His
he is
parents
so
raised him right.
smooth.
He is a
He's
smooth
smooth, man.
operator.
Yeah, I gotta say he gets that a little bit from McDermott as well, because
Yeah.
McDermott, he knows how to stay that line, right? He
Yeah.
is never gonna give
Bean
you.
too. Bean
Oh,
too.
Bean-
Bean,
100%.
Bean's very. But Bean will try to turn it into humor if he gets frustrated.
Yeah.
McDermott's just very even keel all the way across.
Yep.
He's got good role models around him.
Yeah. He won't give you much though. I gotta
No.
say, like, you ain't
Even-
fooling McDermott.
Do you
on
watch
those
The
sneaky
Basement, Kyle
questions.
Brandt's Basement?
I tried it. Which one?
No. Do you watch it? Because
Yeah.
even
time
in
to time.
that, Josh doesn't.
Oh,
give
Josh
him
never.
much.
He would.
He doesn't even
no.
give him much in a more relaxed setting.
Nope. He's in Brant knows that. Like, he
Yeah.
tries quickly, but he knows
Mhm.
it's not gonna. Yeah, Jerry's rude as hell. Hate injuries to anyone, but could tell you I won't lose sleep over Kyle. Yeah, I saw that on Twitter. Mikey told me it was kind of like the
Kyler's
injury
the
to
anti-Allen.
to Wilson, Zach Wilson. He had the
Yeah.
same kind of injury. It was like kind of like a cut, and maybe his knee buckled or got caught up. Those are the worst.
Yeah. Speaking of quarterbacks, can we take a second and appreciate the toughness of Mike White?
Oh, 100%. That's
that
why.
dude
Yeah,
took a
no doubt.
beating yesterday and just kept coming back.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
see why the players love him so much.
yeah. And he still was like, he's humble.
Complete passes.
Yeah, he's humble too. I gotta say too. Like,
I mean, outside of his, I should have been the number 1 overall.
Yeah,
pick
yeah. I mean,
comment.
I get. You know what though? He's a quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah,
and he probably just believes in himself. And that, you know what, a little cocky, but I don't hate it either. So
confident,
I will
not
say,
cocky.
yeah, exactly. Just confident in himself, right? But man, yeah, tough son of a bitch. I gotta give him. I'll give him that credit. I still don't believe he's a franchise quarterback, but I gotta say, this tells a lot about what's going on with Zach Wilson and the Jets, because they're not even dressing him. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, this dude's banged up, and they're still gonna roll with White and still probably not dress Wilson. That's how much they don't.
Old man Flacco.
That's wild, bro. That tells you everything you need to know right now.
He lost the locker room.
I think the writing's on the wall. I think he lost the team, period. I think the writing's on the wall. I think he lost the coach. He lost the locker room. He lost the respect of just Jet fans, probably. I think the Jets are probably going to ship him. I'll be honest with you. I think they're going to do a Rosen kind of deal.
I can see them shipping him out for like a second.
Yeah, why not? Jeez, at this point, that's
Rosen netted a second. I can see him netting.
Yeah, you're right. Did he? Did Rosen get a second?
Yeah, out of Miami.
Miami. Stupid Miami. Dumb Miami. Oh, God.
You know,
yeah, man. Not only the Milano hit,
team, but we talked about it. Yeah. That Jets team, we liked what they did in the draft. We like what they're doing. I mean, I like Robert Saleh anyways as a coach. He's he understands it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like that it's the Jets doing it because they're in our division. But I like what they're doing over there. They got some players, but it wasn't just the Milano hit. It started with Oliver.
Yeah.
Then it went Milano, but then it went Daquan Jones, and I think it ended with Shaq.
Yeah, AJ Epinesa, I think, hit him once too. A good hit.
I
want to say AJ.
I mean, it was
at one point.
It was all.
See, it was AJ got a sack. I want to say in that game, Milano didn't. Milano hit him on the throw.
Yeah,
Ed got him. AJ,
Groot got the sack.
Groot got 2 sacks, but I'm saying it total in the game, I believe Epinesa got a sack. He did. So if you look at the stats, he got a sack. So
I don't even remember the sack.
It was AJ's. It was at the end of the game, I think, like towards the tail end of the game. So Rousseau had 2, Epinesa had 1, and Shaq Lawson, I believe, had 1 as well.
Lawson had 1, Epinesa had 1, and Groot had 2. Okay.
Yeah. So
good for them.
Either way,
and really, Oliver and Daquan were causing the havoc and allowing the outside guys to clean it up. It was awesome.
Yeah. And what was I gonna say?
Scott, I just went on IR watching the Milano hit. A lot of people went on IR to watch that hit.
I was gonna say something. I totally forgot. You cut me off. But anyways, yeah, man, he was under pressure all night. I got to give our D-line credit. The 4 finally. That's what I was gonna say. I'm sorry. AJ Epinesa quietly has 5.5 sacks. Which is, we were calling for AJ this year to step up. Now, not that that's like, oh my God, wow, it's impressive, but it kind of shows his growth this year. And he's going to need to, because now there's no Von Miller. Players are going to have to step up. And the big player, like I said, this past game was Rousseau. He's the one guy that the team's been waiting on, right? And obviously it's only his second season.
Yeah.
But 2 sacks, first game, no Von Miller, right? Rousseau, mind you, he just got back from injury. He just
second game
last week.
Second game
back.
That's
what I mean. Yeah, second game back. So, and very impressive. You gotta like what this man. The guy has size. Guy got bigger. Looks like he's a little faster around the edge.
Learned some pass rushing moves.
Yeah, kudos to Rousseau, man. The way he's balling, man. He's gonna need to stay doing that, especially in the playoff run here coming up.
And Scott comes in and says it. It's not even that's the ghost of Von Miller. He's in all the team meetings still via Zoom.
Yep.
And I agree, Chewy. It doesn't matter how they win it, as long as they win it. It's all that matters.
100%, man. 100%.
As long as they're, and I guarantee you, everybody on that team is saying the same thing. Don't matter. Yeah. Groot did look awesome, Chewy. He did look awesome.
Okay, Triggs. Dorsey's a hot subject right now, by the way. So Dorsey's play calling was puzzling once again, and McKenzie dropping passes, saying that the ball was wet, which is not an excuse anymore. Correct. So Jets players were making plays, and the Bills players, besides even Stefan Diggs, really wasn't making plays. But everybody had bad hands yesterday for the most part, except for maybe Diggs. There was a lot of drops. We can't just point the finger at McKenzie. Singletary dropped an easy one. Dawson Knox dropped an easy one. McKenzie dropped more than one. John Brown, though I did watch the replay on that. Maybe a better receiver might have held on to that, but that was a hell of a play. You got to give. Sometimes we don't credit the defense when we should. The Jets defenders were putting their hand, like really trying to make plays.
They were sticky. They were sticky.
They were sticky, and even when they got beat, like Sauce was beat there. And Sauce got on him and swatted the ball last second, pretty much, when he had it. He had it. But that's just, you got to give credit sometimes to players like that. They make good plays. So, but yeah, man, no excuse. You got to, I don't know what, we've had that problem for a while now. I keep saying, man, why don't you guys wear better gloves? Something. Something. Gabe Davis, non-factor either.
It's the gloves. It's the cleats. Like they're always falling or slipping or dropping or doing something. We can't just
cleats too. Yeah, it's weird, man.
It's funny because
really
Sauce covered Davis this game, like almost the whole game.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you can put some of it on Dorsey. I agree. You know, I listened to a few of the talking media people today, and like Rex and God, what is his name? He's on there. God, I can't think of his name. Dan Orlovsky.
Oh, Dan.
We're talking, and Orlovsky's like, Josh needs to take, because he had Diggs open on a shallow one for like 4 or 5 yards, and he went to John Brown for the deep one. He's like, he just needs to learn to take that. And Rex is like, okay, but a better receiver holds onto that ball, and it's a big play. He's like, how about the mesh concepts, or you give him some easier throws? Like, okay, you picked one play out of that whole game that Josh didn't take the check down on.
Right.
You know, so there are things that Dorsey's doing, and if Josh takes that check down, there are guys there. But do we want Josh to turn into a check down quarterback?
Yeah.
So it's a fine line.
Yeah, I played a clip actually. Speaking of that, like they interviewed Dorsey last week, asking him about like his meaning about playing like smart, but I forget what he says, smart, but something. And he basically was saying, look, basically smart and something else. Yeah. But he was saying, look, I don't want a quarterback who just checks down like the whole game. Like I don't want like I want a quarterback that takes some chances, because those are the best quarterbacks in the league, right? That fit the ball in the window, right? Like, you don't want Josh to just be like basic, basically. And you shouldn't, because Josh is special. So why would you box Josh in, is what he's saying. You don't want to do a player like that. And he's going to listen, he's going to make mistakes though, because of that. We're going to have to live with that, right? If we want that big play, like sometimes it will be a mistake. It sucks, you know, but there also will be a play where like, holy shit, I can't believe it. Right? He was like, he threw on the opposite side of the field for 45 yards. No player can do, like every coach will tell you not to do that. Right. But Josh can do it because he has the arm. Right. So plays like that. And listen, I get everyone saying like vanilla play calling, all that crap. I don't listen.
It's not vanilla.
I don't think so either. I also think too, I think McDermott has a little bit too. I know you said he doesn't, but I think McDermott wants.
Oh, I think he probably has a little bit.
I think McDermott wants this kind of like not safe offense, but he also wants to not be so erratic, right?
They've dialed it back since Joshua was making those dumb pass penalties.
They have 100%.
They've dialed it back
1,000%, because go back earlier in the season, right? When we were going against like the Steelers.
And the Rams and the Titans.
Early on,
early.
We were shucking. Yeah, Josh was shucking it downfield. We were throwing it way more. We were barely running. Like, it was fun ball, but then we caught a snag. And it was that second half of that Packers game, pretty much. And everything kind of went tumbling down. And then we played the Jets. No, then we played the Jets. And then it was just turnover city, right?
And Jets
are good. And then we try to right? And we made those mistakes. And then we played Minnesota and we went back to it, but then we started turning the ball over, right? And we were playing sloppy. So, and then I think it was like from there on out, I really honestly believe Dorsey and Allen said, listen, let's dial back. Let's just play smart football. We got these opponents coming up, Cleveland, Detroit, the Patriots.
The weather's turning.
Right. We can play safe ball with these. We don't need to go crazy on these teams. Like I really, truly believe that. They game plan, every game's different, guys. Where you're at, who you're playing, right? Hasn't been pretty, but also the turnovers are way less than they were, right? Josh is playing a lot smarter.
Yeah, and we're also starting to shrink the game and like strangle. Once we get that lead in the second half, we're holding the ball longer and just killing the clock. So we're not trying to run the points up. I've also noticed that too.
Yeah,
and
100%. But by the way, real quick, which was a knock on us versus the Vikings that we didn't do that, because if we did that, we would have killed the clock and we probably would have won that game. I know we would have won the game. But go ahead, Mikey.
Yeah. Trigg says Allen has come out and said him and Dorsey aren't on the same page yet. Yeah, they're not. It takes a while for them to see eye to eye. And that's every quarterback and offense coordinator. Just remember, 100%. Josh, the only coordinator Josh knew was Daboll. Like Dorsey was in the room, but it was a different relationship than it is now.
100%. He was his quarterback.
So then it takes some time.
Yeah, he was his quarterback coach. He was the one that was just helping him along the way. He wasn't calling the plays.
I love the Scott Blakely one up top. Says Daboll in his 4th year was 9-7. Dorsey in his first year is 10-3. Why is everybody pissed at Dorsey?
Right. Dude, thank you, Scott. Finally, somebody agrees with me. He's not as like that's why I hate this whole nonsense. Like, if we were a terrible offense, I would say, yeah, okay, guys, he's having a really rough season. Even if we're 10-3, this offense will fail. But guys, I think we're still top 5 in offense. I mean, we'll have to see how the stats line up after this week. But I think going into this game, we're ranked 2nd or 3rd. I mean, guys, settle down. Like, I think we are 1st in points at home. Matter of fact, going into the game,
5th in yards.
Yeah.
Right. He's tied he's 3rd in passing touchdowns. Him and Mahomes have the both same amount of interceptions at 11, which are like the 5th worst in the league.
Right.
His if you go by PFF, I'm not a big fan of them, but they're grading. He's the 2nd best there. So you can go through and look at all of them, not including his rushing and his touchdowns. So people want to point out, we're not playing horrible. We're still scoring 20 points. Do you remember, Josh, the first 2 years when we're scoring 15 points a game?
Right.
We're still averaging the mid-20s right now, and our defense is lights out, playing against a extremely tough schedule, a top 10 schedule.
Right. And let me point this out too. A couple more things just to throw on top of that. We don't have Cole Beasley anymore.
Yeah.
We have an inconsistent wide receiver room. We do, except for Diggs. Okay. We all know I'm not counting Diggs there, but very inconsistent, including Dawson Knox. No more excuses. You got to ball out now. We paid you.
You're getting paid $14 million a year.
Right. Exactly. So inconsistent throughout, except for Diggs.
Mm-hmm.
Josh's injury that he's going to continue playing with all season long. And we're still, look at the stats. Look at the numbers. Look at our total team.
And you didn't even talk about the worst one, the offensive line.
The offense,
who has regressed this year.
Right, which is
gotten worse this year.
Right, which is terrible. Really bad. I got to say, though, that offensive line for the Chargers is right there with us. They were awful. I could not believe how terrible they were Sunday night. I mean, Herbert's a tough son of a bitch.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Chargers were missing 4 starting offensive line.
No, I get it, but man, wow. When they wanted to get there, they did. Triggs, I'm not pissed with Dorsey. He's just lack creativity. ATM team
at the moment. Teams adjusting his pass game, and he has. Yeah, it's a chess game. I don't disagree 100%. With you there, Triggs. And it's not vanilla. It's called creativity, and you're right. Rex Ryan talked about it today. There's some things they could do to help that with some mesh concept and different things. You have to remember, The Bills' offense is all choice routes. There isn't like if you look at the Dolphins' offense, it's all timing. This receiver is supposed to run exactly 12 yards and turn around. Tua gets to his third step or fifth step, the ball's out, and it's a timing route. The Bills' offense is all choice routes. There's 6 choices for the receiver on every single play of how the defense is lined up and what they can do. And that's why you have to have the quarterback and the receiver lined up. So could they actually put some timing routes in there and some of those things? Yeah, they probably could, and that would help things up. And maybe it'll look more schemed up. But the coaches trust the players to go out and read the defense and get open.
Right. And they expect them to catch the damn ball.
Yep.
Not drop the ball. Guys, and also, too, you're complaining about, this play calls, but, guys, some of these passes are getting home. First downs, and they're dropping the ball. Or it's a penalty. Like a Deion Dawkins for holding. So is that Dorsey's fault? Did Dorsey go out there and hold a defensive lineman when he shouldn't have?
Yeah.
Did Dorsey go out there?
Execution.
Right.
There's execution pieces to it.
Now,
it's not all Dorsey's fault. There's some blame there, but there's also a lot of blame on the players too. And we don't like to blame the players because we love the players. It's easier to blame the coach, and I get that.
100%. Just like the quarterback. Easy to blame the quarterback. Those are the 2 targets. It's coaches and quarterback. Always, no matter what. They got the targets.
Oh my God, yes. Yes, Scott. Someone sneak into Leslie Frazier's office and leave him a post-it note. My God, do not play that soft zone coverage shit against them. Miami was exposed by San Francisco and the Chargers. The Chargers were missing 6 of their guys last night, and they still were able to shut them down.
Davis guy, by the way, played really good. I don't know who that kid is. And he was, I think,
He's a backup.
And I thought he played tremendous. I mean, he got beat on a couple plays. He still got back in the play. No pass interference. He just swiped the ball. Just really good.
If they play that press man, they can even play. You can even go into more of the look. They can go the man zone concept and press them off the line, then drop into zones to chuck them off the timing routes. That's basically what the Chargers did last night. They hit the guys at the line and then fell into zones. And because he hit them off the line, it messed up the timing all night.
Yeah.
And that's where Elam actually would fit perfectly in that type of system.
I think so too, but they talked to
McDermott
Frazier today.
And they talked to McDermott yesterday about him too.
And Frazier's
they love him.
Yeah.
He's the Levi Wallace, man. He's the new Levi Wallace.
This is Levi Wallace. And I understand, like I said, I still say I never hated Levi, but he was not that good either. And when you got a guy, but here's the big difference. Here's the big but. We didn't have an Elam on there to play over Levi, right?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So
one year we did. Now we had that Johnson guy, and he split time with Levi.
But
he was
I'm talking about
first round pick. He was a first round pick.
Yeah, but I'm talking about our guy,
the guy we invested in.
Right, guy we invested in.
And Triggs is right.
Yeah, who plays well.
And you can play zone against them, but you just have to get physical with the receivers at the line and then drop into zone. I'm not saying take away your zone concepts because you play it great.
Yes, they did, Chewy.
Yes, they did.
I think, listen, they're going to play zone against Dolphins
because that's what they do.
That's what we do. We're going to rush for. But I got to say though, to the Bills' credit, in that miserable, I think was it week 3 in Miami?
Yeah,
hot as hell. We held the Dolphins
down.
I mean, Hill had nothing. He had 35. He didn't do shit.
No Milano, no Poyer in that game too.
Right. So, mind you, all that went on. Guys going out, constantly. Guys getting IV shots. Guys cramping up. We still played very sound defense, that zone defense. And I think they're going to stick with what worked the first time, Mikey. I do. Now, mind you, no Von Miller this game. But like your point, we will have Milano. We will have Edmonds. We will have a little bit healthier squad.
Well, Poyer, because Johnson got beat for that big one.
I'm hoping Phillips comes back.
Triggs is right here. People forget. Elam started that game, and he was on Tyreek Hill most of the game. Tyreek only had 35 yards that game.
No, that's what I said. He very minimal. And if it wasn't for the one big mess up pass, which was just a good play, by the way, by Waddle and Tua, they held even Waddle for the most part in check. Beside the 145-yard pass, Hill is out with ankle. I don't know. Well, it's too early right now, but
he's probably going to play. He played through it last night. He's probably going to play.
He did, but he was hurting. He won't be 100%. He definitely won't be 100%. But it is what it is. I don't care. Bring him on.
But still, 90% of Tyreek Hill's better than most.
Daniel, thank you.
Oh, yeah, we'll have Trey. How do I forget we didn't have Trey that week?
Because it's been forever, and he finally came back a couple weeks ago. But thank you, Daniel.
Yes.
And Trey White's back. Hello. So
like we have a lot of our secondary back. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, listen, guys, we talked about this. I will say the Ryan Bates thing is that's tough. Hopefully he
sprained his ankle, didn't come back.
Yeah, that
was
the one injury that for as bad as our offensive line is, guys. Ooh.
Yeah, but Ron Roten actually didn't play horribly in his.
No, he didn't.
Place.
You're right.
He didn't play horribly in his place. Like the where we were getting beat up was at the edges, and Saffold was getting murdered.
I told you he's having a rough season, man. I'm not saying he's the worst, but he's not having a very good season.
Well, he's never been a great pass blocker. He's always been a better run blocker than a pass blocker.
which we don't really do well anyway. So, but yeah, great point about the Trey White. It's going to be and it's going to be about 4 to 6 inches of snow.
Yeah.
And by the way, did you know the Dolphins were using heaters in California at 50-degree temperature on their sideline? Heaters, 50 degrees. So, like, are you kidding me? I go out with no shirt on. 50. That's a beautiful day. Dolphins boy.
They're using heaters inside and basically it was covered. It's almost like a dome.
Yeah, it's like, bro, you guys. Hey, all right. I hope we make them feel so uncomfortable somehow.
Oh, they're gonna be. They're gonna be.
Oh, thank God.
It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Thank God we have Bobby Hart. Bobby Hart's a wonderful backup. Second tight end in run situations. That's where he needs to stay.
Is this correct? Because I haven't looked at the. I think she might be right on the East if we do beat the Dolphins. Because we're up 1.5 right now, if I'm not mistaken.
We're up 2 right now on them.
Well, they have the tie. They have because we haven't played them yet. You're right. Yeah. We would be up 2.5.
We'd be up 3 on them. We'd be up 3 on them. We'd be up 3 on them if we beat them.
So that would be
with 3 to go.
Yeah, I think that would be it then. I believe she might be right. I have to look at I haven't really looked. I'll be honest with you, but you might be right. You might. By the way, Melissa, I've never seen you here. I could be wrong, but welcome,
welcome, and great message. Love that comment.
Yeah,
I'll have to look at it.
Yeah, because I honestly didn't do my homework on that. I normally do.
The Dolphins in division are 2-1 right now, so they'd be 2-2. We'd be 2-2. They'd be down 3. So if they won out and we lost to the Patriots, they could because we could still tie. So because they'd be 2-2, we'd be 2-2. No, we'd be 3-2, but we both have 2 losses. They play the Jets and the Patriots. So there's still a way. I don't think we clinch yet because there's a way the Dolphins could still get it if we tied, and they could have a better division record than us.
But by the way, they still have some tough games left, including ours, obviously. I got to look at their schedule real quick, but the Dolphins play the Dolphins. So the Dolphins play week 15. They play us week 16. They play, let's see here. They play Green Bay at Miami. Listen, Green Bay's not good, but they're a scrappy team. Miami should win, but that's who knows, Then they play New England at New England week 17. That's going to be a tough game. New England has good defense. And then you got,
and it's going to be 18. In New England in that cold.
Yep. And then you got week 18, the Jets at Miami.
Yeah.
Tough game. Like, guys, they don't have a cushy schedule. Maybe the Green Bay game's the easiest one. I guess all the other teams, think about it, Mikey. All those other teams besides Green Bay are all good defensive teams. Yeah. The Bills, the Jets, the Patriots, all teams that have good defense. So boy, oh boy. Listen, I mean, the Dolphins literally could lose the next three of they could lose 3 of the 4. They could. They potentially could. And that would not be good.
I think they'll get the Patriots. They tend to always get the Patriots.
They play them well, but
but the Jets, man, that Jets defense is playoff defense.
100%. I respect that team. That
Jets team is good.
I respect the team in whole. Like, I don't think their offense is anything to write home about. Obviously, they're not there yet, right? They do have work to go. They got, that's something they're going to probably address in the offseason. But boy, they built that defense, and they are young. They're hungry. They believe in their coach. Their coach is smart, by the way. He seems like a smart dude. So they're going places, no doubt. I don't see that team dropping off the map anytime soon. They just got to build up their offense. And by the way, that running back they had, the new guy, the guy from
Bam,
undrafted, impressive. And by the way, our old running back scoring touchdowns, for the Panthers. What's his name?
I know who you're talking about. Blackshear.
That everybody was liking. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. Blackshear. But it's not just him. We got Isaiah Hodgins in New York or in New Jersey scoring touchdowns too.
It happens. Sometimes a new environment, a new place. You know that. We've talked about this. Sometimes a player just even Zay Jones, for as bad as he's playing excellent, but he's earned his contract. He's catching touchdowns in Jacksonville. You know what I mean? Like, it's not great, but he's played much better since leaving Buffalo, in my opinion. So it happens. Sometimes players just need a new, fresh start. I don't think Cody Ford doing anything good. I think he's
starting tonight in Arizona.
I know he's tonight, but he's not a starter, right? He's just a fill-in.
I think he's a backup, and he's filling in for injured guys tonight.
Okay. Oh man. So
yes, I could see that Jets Miami game as in at the end for the 7th seed. I can absolutely see that. I don't know if Moss has even played. Has he played there?
I have no idea. I have not checked Zach Moss. I haven't heard anything, and I watch Red Zone, so he's definitely not. He hasn't scored a touchdown. I mean, not that I know of. So.
I'll take a look.
I don't know. I don't think so. I could be wrong, but yeah, take a look, Mikey. By the way, guys, Monday night we already talked about the game post game. So like these nights, we just kind of freelance it and just kind of go over just funny stories and things, So
he has 7 attempts for 31 yards.
Okay, not very good. I mean, not in the right home. Listen, guys, he's going to be a traveling running back. He's going to be going to team. He'll be second, third string wherever he goes. It's just unfortunate.
Jonathan Taylor, he's not going to get any. And then that Deion Jackson guy.
That's what I mean. He'll be a floater. He'll float around the NFL. He'll be like a second or third string. He'll be practice squad guy. You know what I mean? Like, that's going to be the story of him. No offense to him. He still made it to the NFL. He's still better than I ever did. So, and better than a lot of players that don't make the NFL. So I'm not going to always shit on a player that doesn't make the team or plays bad. They got there. They did their, they were good enough to make the NFL.
Yeah, he was talented enough to get drafted in the top 3 rounds. It didn't work out. Sometimes that happens.
Yeah, and he was a good college player, obviously.
Yeah. And this isn't saying that he can't end up somewhere else and then have a resurgence down the line.
Yeah, you never know.
Get into the right running system for him. Go to a Shanahan offense. They just seem to plug people in. Doesn't matter who it is.
Yeah. Let's see here. Scott Blakely, OBJ, too full of himself playing games. I hope Smoke gets on track. Okay, so speaking of Smoke, so me and Mikey talking about that yesterday, the drop pass. He didn't really get any looks after that. I don't think listen, that wasn't punishment. That wasn't a fumble. That was a very good defensive play, in my opinion. Should he have caught it? Probably. But there's a lot of receivers, I'll be honest with you, that would have dropped that ball with that kind of defense. That's what you really have to have really, really, really good hands, be a physical receiver to hold on to that because he did hit it. It wasn't like he just dropped it. But we got to face reality here. And reality is we picked up John Brown because there was nobody else, even though, by the way, T.Y. Hilton got picked up today by Dallas, who would have been an interesting pickup for us. I
So,
almost
that tells you
would have
everything you need to know
preferred
about the OBJ thing as well.
exactly for at least to Dallas. We
Yeah.
know that ain't happening. But T.Y. Hilton would have been interesting because he did play last year and he contributed. The problem with John Brown is since leaving us, he hasn't done anything. I don't think he's even had it called a pass anywhere. So,
He did in Tampa Bay the first year he was out with us. He went to Tampa Bay,
but I don't
and
think it was minimal. I think I saw
he wasn't a big one. He filled in for Godwin,
yeah,
as wide receiver 3. He didn't have a ton of yards, but he had like 2 or 3 catches a game, but nothing major.
Yeah. So either way, so he my point is, listen, if we were expecting the 2019 John Brown,
It's not gonna happen.
we're lying to ourselves, right? But this is what we're dealt with, right? Like we have to. There was really nobody there, and listen, OBJ. I still say there's this very slim chance if he could play in the playoffs, then I would definitely still would want the Bills to try to make something happen. And that's a big if, though, because as of right now, I don't even think he's real ready for the playoffs. And then obviously, what's the point, right? If you want to sign OBJ, then fine, try in the offseason if that's what you're going. But I at this point, I think the Bills probably moved on, and I think a lot of teams moved on from that talk because I don't think they're comfortable. And right now they're not. He's not going to contribute. And if he's not going to contribute, they can work his contract in the offseason. Maybe Dallas does sign him. Maybe they get him in the offseason. But right now, this season ain't happening.
He's gonna have to sign in the next week or two if he's gonna have any shot at learning the playbook.
Okay, so Chewy has some help for you. So, Mikey, take a half teaspoon of cayenne pepper mixed with honey for that cough. Trust Chewy.
I'll do it tonight, Chewy.
Yeah, and then Scott says, Dr. Chewy.
Yep.
Hey, do you want that? Dr. Chewy, that's your new nickname.
Yeah.
I like it, Dr. Chewy.
Call
in
the doc.
building. Yeah. Call the doc, Dr. Chewy.
Yes, Scott, talking about Crowder. Crowder's chances for the playoffs to make it back. That would be huge. Yeah.
We brought that up in the post game. So he's working out with the team. It's light workouts. He's running. I know Kyle over at Banged Up Bill still says he looks like he's kind of not putting full pressure. Like you can kind of tell he's leaning on one way on that ankle. So he's probably not 100%, but it's good to see that he's at least doing drills.
Mm-hmm.
And we're still quite away from the playoffs. So possible.
5 weeks?
Yeah.
Playoff game?
Exactly. So it's very possible, guys, that he could return for playoffs. And if he does, that is huge because even if he doesn't, just him being out there is my point. Will make a difference. Just him being out there. And that's what kind of we were saying about OBJ. If we did sign him, he was ready to go to playoffs. It was just more about him being a weapon on the field and teams having to guard him. And Crowder brings that element. You have to. He's a veteran. He's good. It's not like a John Brown veteran, right? Who hasn't really done much. He's done a lot through, like, he just got hurt. It was just bad luck. He broke his ankle. But yeah, 100%. If he comes back, that's a huge security blanket for Josh Allen. Huge. Because right now, let's be honest, Mikey. I think if we're going to talk about the offense struggles, that is a key thing that's missing. And we talked about this with Joe Miller, was that security blanket that he had in Beasley. Allen doesn't have it anymore. He doesn't have that guy that he can rely on now. And it's almost like now it's getting to the point where, and you saw earlier when he was doing the turnovers, it's almost like he's just trying to force the ball to Diggs or just constantly look for Diggs because Diggs is the only guy he can rely on. And Allen, sometimes Allen, if you go to a guy who doesn't make the catch, he won't go back to you, or you know what I mean? Like he kind of gets like, or if the running game's not going good, he just doesn't hand it off. And we're like, that's just the way he is. He wants to do everything by himself. And with no security blanket, it really hurts his team, Mikey. It does, man. And I don't know, John Brown's not a security blanket. He's more of a, just a wide out, a deep out,
I'd love to see him used in the screen game because he was so good at those.
He could.
I haven't seen any of that.
Nothing. They've just kept lining him out the outside.
Mm-hmm.
They have done nothing with.
But he's also on the practice squad, and we've used the 2 call-ups on him. So we won't see John Brown again unless they sign him to the 53.
That's right. That's right. And if they call him up, that's it. He's active. So, I don't know. I mean, honestly, there's really no one answer out there because clearly, if they signed John Brown, that was it. There's really nobody out there I mean,
Hilton was out there.
Kumaro. I mean, there's really no.
Kumero's not even out there. Kumero's on IR.
No, I know he's hurt. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. Like, even if Kumaro, like, there's just not really a good. And Kumaro is not a security blanket. I'm just talking about like a guy that you can rely on, right? There's who's out there, guys. That a guy that we're like, oh shit, okay, like
the guy that they should rely on. They don't. They should be relying on the dump downs to Hines. And Dawson Knox.
Right. Well, I thought you were also going to say Shakir, even though Shakir's been at, even though he has been very good at blocking.
He has been running routes. He hasn't been looked at. Josh hasn't thrown the ball. He actually played like 20-something% of the snaps this last game. He only saw 1 target, and there was pass interference on the target.
Yeah, Melissa, Pats are losing. Thank you for the update. I'll look here at the score. It's 13-7. And they actually just fumbled. The Patriots and Cardinals got they should have had it. I don't know who got the ball. It looks like the Cardinals should have had it, but the Patriots picked it up.
I think Mac. It was a bad hand. That was on Mac, dude. He pulled it out.
Oh no, the Cardinals got it. Okay, I'm sorry. I think the Cardinals got
that's on Mac.
Yeah, that's definitely on Mac. The Patriots offense stinks. I mean, there's listen, but this is great. This is great for us. Oh, they did recover. I'm sorry.
Yes,
they're going for a field goal.
Yes, Chewy. I'd like to see more swing passes to Hines or Cook. I'd like to see more to Hines. Hines is such an explosive player. I mean, I like Cook. Don't get me wrong, but Hines is more of a receiver. Like, he's that veteran that they want. I'd love to see us use him more.
Okay, so it's 13-10 in halftime, guys. Just a heads up. So Cardinals are up 13-10. It's gonna be
so he made the
he did. He made the field goal. So it's 13-10. So he made the 50,
but missed the 46 against us.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, yeah. So it's 13-10. But yeah, everything Melissa said, Miami lost. So yeah. Everything that's I gotta say. Even though there's a lot that's gone wrong for the Bills, a lot's been going right lately. Yeah. We got to also say, right, like the week before when Chiefs lost, the Dolphins lost, like everything happened. Like everything's kind of going the Bills' way, even though the injuries not so much. But even that, I think, is starting to get a little better. Like you notice, right, Mikey? Like a lot of players are starting to get healthier now. We're not really losing a lot to injury during these games. So I think things are starting to come back good. Like the good things are starting to come back to Buffalo, which is good. We needed it. We need it because we had
what we need is guys to stop getting hurt. I'd like to go through a game and not have somebody new added to the injury report.
So Chewy wants to know what is the main difference in our offense compared to the beginning of the season minus injuries. Go ahead, Mikey. What do you think?
The pass game, the short game. The short, quick passing game. If you go back and you look at the first few weeks, we used the short passing game coming out the blocks. A lot of dump downs to the running backs, a lot of quick crossers, slants, those type of things to the receivers. And then that brought those safeties up in that too high shell.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that's a piece of it. The other piece is our offensive line play. Our offensive line has gotten worse as the season has gone along.
Yeah.
Josh doesn't have nearly as much time. Like you have to remember, Josh is really good at getting out of the pocket. Tommy talked about this a lot over the last couple of weeks. Allen hasn't had, because there's so much pressure collapsing from at him and on the sides. He doesn't have any room to get out to make those plays. That's the biggest difference. The quick short passes aren't there, or Josh is either Dorsey's not calling them or Josh isn't going to them.
Yeah,
he's and the offensive line isn't giving him time to go through multiple reads to get that big play if that's what he's looking for.
Yeah, and think about it. Like every game I've ever seen, at least in the last couple of seasons, when I watch Josh, when plays break, like plays break down, like the defense gets going in the backfield there. I always was confident Josh would somehow get out, find a way, like, because it didn't come so fast, so furious, and didn't come from all angles, right? He usually did. He usually got out, no problem, either take off or make a play downfield, right? This season, or at least towards the second part of the season, going from like week 4, let's say, or week 5, you could see it's not. He can't. It's starting to collapse on him, and not only that,
there's nowhere for him to go.
There's nowhere for him to go. I noticed sometimes too, he'll try to step to the side, and there's a guy there. Like before there wasn't. Like he would always have some kind of pocket to get out of, and it almost seems like the pocket's just totally collapsing, and that also tells you right there, like the time that he has to throw is so short right now, the window, and he can't really go through all his reads. He can't. And that's why the security blanket thing, like I'm telling you guys, is so important. So, yeah, so that kind of lies on Dorsey, too, to kind of, okay, the O-line's not holding up. What do we got to do to make changes? And to Mikey's point, what we did in the beginning of the season, especially week 1 against a good D-line in the Rams, we got rid of the ball really quick. Boom, boom, boom.
We did
boom.
against the Chiefs, too.
Against the Chiefs, yeah. So that's what you got to do to beat teams that are rushing. I'm going to tell you right now, too, the Dolphins defense is going to – they've been rushing
blitz.
A lot.
They're going to blitz.
They're going to blitz like crazy. And Dorsey better game plan for that because they're going to get home. I'm telling you right now, they will get home. And Allen cannot escape every time. And clearly is not. I think this is the most I've seen Allen sacked. I could be wrong. I want to look at the stats, but I am almost right that he's up there in quarterback pressures and quarterback sacks this season. I can almost guarantee it. But yeah, I mean, you know, I would say that's the main difference from the start of the season up to the last.
Josh has been sacked 28 times.
That's a lot.
His pressure to sack is 15.5%. What is this stat? Yeah, so like to put it this way, Mahomes has been sacked 21 times. Allen's been sacked 28 times. Burrow's been sacked 35 times. And you know how bad Burrow's offensive line has been.
Exactly. And they have actually gotten better as the season went on. I'll be honest with you. They're playing a little bit better. So, yeah, I mean, that has a lot to do with what's going on with the offense and why this you know, we're struggling. You know, listen, if you only have 2 seconds to throw the ball, I mean, guys, like 1, 2. I mean, that's it. And you're either taking a sack, running for your life, or handing the ball off. So, you know, listen, this O-line is what they are. I keep telling you guys that. It's not going to change until they fix it. And obviously you cannot just fix it during the season. It's too late for that. These guys, listen, these guys have to play better. You know, they have to step up a little bit. How much better can they be? I don't know, but I listen, Mikey, I've seen them play decent at times, correct? We've seen this offensive line hold up better in the pass blocking, right?
Yes.
Like they've been better than what they've been showing. And it's kind of like they're just getting worse and worse as the games go on. It just seems like every team, the Lions, which, listen, they're not a very good defense, and they were getting home against us. The Browns are getting home against us. The Vikings were getting, like, teams that aren't very, those teams are not good on defense. They're ranked towards the bottom of the league. And yet they were giving us fits. Why? Because their offensive line ranks towards the bottom. They're right there with them. So they have to play a little better because now when we get into playoffs, we ain't going to be going against a last ranked defense. The 30, we're probably going to go against the top 10 defense. If they're in the playoffs, more than likely they're a pretty good defense. They have to step up, Mikey. They have to. You cannot play that way in the playoffs. You cannot have Allen under pressure like that and expect to win. You can't. Yeah. You got to play better.
The Bills pass blocking ranks 20th in the league.
Yeah, that's. And in my eyes, they rank 25th. I'll say. I mean,
yeah,
you know, I don't care what that says. They're you know, which is still, that's really bad, by the way. That's shitty. Okay. It says, doesn't the OL always seem to be our Achilles heel? With JA, why haven't they invested higher in the draft? Yeah, I mean, we've been saying that for like
we thought if you followed us at all this offseason going into the draft, every draft conversation we had was around taking one of those interior linemen in the top 3 rounds. I think we picked every possible one within top 3 rounds. And then, it kind of fell the way we wanted. We wanted quarterback CB1. We got Elam. Okay, great. We took Cook round 2. We figured, okay, we understand the running back thing.
Yeah.
And then round 3 came and Dylan Parham was still on the board.
Yeah.
And we're like, he'd be perfect for this system.
And we took a fucking special
linebacker. Yeah, it's like a special team guy. And
who's not even
Dylan Parham went next to the Raiders, the next pick to the Raiders. And guess what? Parham's starting for the Raiders.
Yeah. Yeah. And I haven't looked at the whole draft that round, but I'm sure there's some offensive line that are playing too. Besides that are contributing. And the fucking offensive line we took was Tenuta.
Sorry. Yeah.
I mean, like, we get one. It's Tenuta. I mean, it's like, what are you doing? Like, that's
a T-Rex at that. A guy who has short arms.
Made no sense. So, like, if there's one thing we can criticize Brandon Beane for, it's this. Because, listen, you got your quarterback. You know how special Josh Allen is. You want him here a long time. You have to protect him.
Look what happened to Indiana.
He's not RoboCop. This isn't a guy. Right.
They had an all-world quarterback who got hurt and got so sick of being hurt that he quit.
Yeah,
because they refused to invest in offensive linemen for him.
Exactly. Look at the greats, right? For the most part, Tom Brady, even Manning when he went to Denver. Mm-hmm. Even Manning, when he was with the Colts early on, they had a good O-line. And then when he went to Denver, he was like, hey, he probably said, hey, I'll come, but you better fucking protect the shit out of me. Mm-hmm. Right? And they did. They had a really good offensive line. He had all the time in the world. Tom Brady on those Patriots team, even on the Bucs team, until this season, right? Because their offensive line got banged up. He always had time. Always. Even Matt Ryan back in the day. They knew he couldn't run, take off. They protected him very well. It all starts up front. Like, come on, they should know that. Like, that's where it starts, the trenches, and they've yet to address it.
And I can't even say that he hasn't tried, because he took Ford at the second.
I get the Ford
out.
thing. Ugh, yeah.
He took Spencer Brown in the 3rd. He took Tommy Doyle in the 4th. He took White Teller in the 5th. He's taking Tenuta. So it's not like he hasn't drafted. He hasn't put high value assets into that.
Exactly. There's a difference. You could draft crap. Right. Exactly. You could draft Tenutas.
There was no day one. There was no day one draft picks there.
No, there wasn't even a big free agent offensive lineman that you go.
Saffold's the biggest.
No, right, which is a 1-year veteran old dude that's declining.
But we're paying him a bunch of money.
I know, I get it. I like Saffold, but I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean. He hasn't. Yeah. He has not addressed it. And by the way, Scott Blakely, yes, that's what I was saying. He's not RoboCop. Like Josh gets hurt his elbow, just right, put some computer chip in there. He's fine. He's good to go. But no, like, it's like, dude, like, Beane, I love you. I do. I love everything you've done so up to this point. But if you want this guy that we all love hurdling people and throwing, 50, 60, 70-yard bombs and making these unbelievable throws, you have to protect him.
There also has to be value at where we're picking. You have to remember, there hasn't been any great tackles sitting when we've been picking. So I understand it's value.
And trade versus... then you got to figure it out. You got to trade up for one. You got to do. Eventually, you got to trade some picks away, and he hates that. Yep. I know he loves his draft picks, but sometimes you got to make that move. He did it for Diggs, right? Traded away his first round for Diggs. I'm just saying. He's traded up for Cody Ford. He's traded up for Dawson Knox. Like, dude, if you see a guy there in next year's draft that you really like and you think he's going to go early in a second,
we have a center that's aging. We have a left guard that's aging, and then we have Dawkins, who's in his prime. We have a young right side of the line with
Who's still
Bates
learning.
and
Who's still learning.
Brown, who are both still learning. I think Bates ultimately slides inside when Morris is done. Then we have to replace our 2 guards. So now it's time to start looking at drafting some guards. Can't win the lotto if you don't play.
Exactly. And Ryan Bates, listen, Ryan Bates is a good player. He can play any position, but ultimately he's not great at any of these positions. I think if he works with Cromer and they prepare him and prep him to become center, I think he can. I think that would be his ideal. I think that would be his ideal spot. But they have to work with him and push him just to be a center. You know what I mean? Like they can't keep playing that. All right, now you're left guard. Now you're right guard.
That's what the Bills do with everybody, though. That's kind of what stunted Cody Ford, to be perfectly honest. Started him at tackle, then moved him to like 4 different spots.
Yeah, exactly, Scott. That's what I was saying. We don't want to. We want to do it because it's a design play or whatever. Yeah. Have a good night, Chewy. I appreciate you as always, brother. Yep. But yeah, man. That's why. To your way earlier question, why I think the offense has kind of struggled a little bit. There's been a lot, but also too, like I said too, you got to also. There's some other things that play factor too, like Gabe Davis that we didn't mention, who has not really lived up to what we thought he would going into year 3. There's also Isaiah McKenzie, who we thought could possibly fill that slot role, and that has shown that he's shown that he hasn't, or he won't be able to. You got Dawson Knox, who came off a really good year last year, who has also not really contributed much this season. And that could also be because the O-line's bad and they're using him more to block. So let's
also could be Josh not looking at him. Like there's a lot of reasons why.
Let's not totally kill Knox on that yet, because I might give him a little bit more of a pass than Davis and McKenzie, only because they're using him more to help out Allen in the blocking game. And maybe they're just, like I said, plays are breaking down. He's just not open enough for, I don't know. It could be scheme. But I'll give him slight pass, but he's still dropping passes that he normally catches, that he was catching last year.
It's the easy ones, man. He drops the easy ones. He catches the hard ones, and blows my mind.
Yep. Now I will say, you brought up a great point, Mikey, in the Hines thing. I really, goddamn, man, like I really think this guy could be used in this offense, and it's like mind-boggling that yet now we're going into week 4 with him now?
5.
5. It's like, dude, like I would think he would know at least 75% of the playbook by now, and Josh would start trusting him more and start calling some plays his way, because
scheme it up for him a little bit.
Yes, because dude, this guy, I'm telling you guys, he's an electric player with the ball in his hands. He just hasn't really had the opportunity. He's had the opportunity on punt returns, kick returns, and that's great, by the way. Awesome. Thank God. Yeah. Because we were like, that was one thing we were kind of like missing the start of the season. I'm not going to lie. Like, we were kind of like, okay, Shakir's back there. That's cool. But we needed a playmaker. Shakir was a safe play, but he wasn't, I don't think he was a playmaker for the punt return. Hines is a safe and a playmaker, and that's why he's been great addition. But involve him, because listen, you saw what the Colts did with him. He could be very deadly with the ball in his hand. So let's start dialing, especially now. You see what's going on with this receiving core. They're all kind of struggling, except for Diggs. Okay, you got this guy here, Hines. He's also a good receiver. Let's get him involved. Let's get him some quick throws.
Wasn't there supposed to be this role that J.D. McKissic was supposed to fill? Like, I have not seen, like, if we had J.D. McKissic here, how does that change anything? Because we're not using the running backs like that.
Nothing. We have not. We have not.
Yeah. And Scott, I missed the 41-13 Tommy.
I would absolutely love to do that this
but not with this weather game. We're gonna have 7 inches of snow. Not happening.
I am absolutely not. 1, because of the weather. 2, because of how we've been playing. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. Mm-hmm. With just how all together the team's been playing. And I'm not saying they're been playing awful like everyone else is saying. I just don't think they're struggling a little bit, okay? But they're not struggling so bad where we're only scoring 3 points. We're not the Patriots.
We're not in the 30s. We're in the 20s right now.
Right. So, but no, I if I were to give you a way too early prediction, will definitely be under 40. I would say you're probably looking at a high 20 game, maybe mid 20s. So, if I was
24,
a
27.
Exactly.
Would be where I guess.
Yeah,
I'm guessing it's 24, 27 to 13, 17, something like that right now.
Yeah.
We got to see how the injuries play out and see who's in and who's out to get a real feel for it.
It could go exactly how the Jets game went, for all you know.
Yep.
Could be
20 to
fucking
12. 20 to 12.
But
They kick a bunch of field goals.
Yeah, I'll take it. I have no problem with it.
No more
A
block
win's a
punts for
win.
safeties, please.
You're right. Hey, you guys, listen, you all called it. You all wanted home field advantage and shitty ass weather conditions, right? This is what you're going to get. I want to throw that out there for even if our offense was clicking, I'm just going to throw this out there. Playing in Buffalo when it's windy, snowing, you're not going to score 44. Very, very few teams I've ever seen in those conditions light it up on offense. So, no, if we're playing playoff football in Buffalo, have home field advantage, and it's shitty weather, expect low scoring game. But that does favor us because of our defense. How our defense is
and our quarterback. Our quarterback can throw in that weather. Right.
And our quarterback can run as well. Right. So unlike other quarterbacks who don't take off, or it does benefit us. Yeah. With that. But it will be a very grinded out game, like a very, very 10-3 halftime.
Once we get into the playoffs, I think we got spoiled last year because of how bad we beat the Patriots.
It was a beautiful day too.
Yeah,
by the way.
But then we went into Kansas City and we had that high scoring game. Everyone just assumed the offenses were going to always be like that. Most playoff games are tight, more like what we saw with the Jets than what we've seen with those two games last year.
Yep. I agree. Listen, Scott, if Crowder can come back 1,000%, put him back on the field. I 100% agree. Hines definitely needs to get. Listen, I'm scheming Hines now. Now's the time. I want to see it now. I've been wanting to see it. There's no more excuses. If you're going to use him, then I want to see it. If not, then we're just going to have to deal with the fact that he's a kick returner and a punt returner. That's it. I'm not going to even address it anymore because it's wasting my breath. Right? Put it this way. Right, Mikey? If he goes into this weekend, and he is once again not involved, I am done talking about Hines, that they should involve Hines.
They're not going to. If they don't do it this weekend, they're not going. It's not going to happen.
So it's a waste of my breath. It's a waste of me and Mikey even complaining about it, right?
Yeah.
So I won't even bring it back up.
We got to the point where we stopped complaining about Bates too, putting them in.
Yeah, 100%. We're like, Scott J plays great and cold. It's the damn rain. Yeah,
it is the rain. Once it started snowing, it changed from rain to snow. You saw Josh get into a little bit of a rhythm yesterday.
Yeah,
and the receivers start catching the ball. It's that rain, man. It messes with them.
I forgot to bring something up in the post game. Oh shit, the Patriots are about to score.
Yeah, they just had a massive. They just had a massive penalty.
Strong Junior. Anyways, what I was going to say is what we missed on post game. And this is what, by the way, and we totally forgot about this, Mikey. This is what led us to the touchdown before the half. The Dawson Knox call on 4th down to draw them off sides.
I loved that call.
Was brilliant.
It was.
So
you know what? It was creative.
It was so creative. He looked like
because there is
it's so hard.
Knox even said it. There is a cadence when he goes up under there, if he gets the look he's looking for, to take the snap and go.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, of course. Dude, it was so brilliantly done.
That is the Kansas City Chiefs red zone play that you see Andy Reid always doing.
That you can only call I honestly probably one time a season. Honestly, because teams now will probably bite. They won't bite. They know
they won't jump off sides, but you can call that and then
you can call it. No, you can. But I'm just saying, that kind of play doesn't work. That's a play that you only use you know what I mean, once a year, maybe twice. You know what I mean? Get away with it. Smooth play, but that kept the drive going because I honestly believe we punt there. We punt there. We take
on our side of the 50. Absolutely.
Yeah, we take the penalty and we go. So it was even the Jets guy was laughing because he knew he got caught. He got caught. It was perfect. And we went and scored a touchdown. So like, look at that one. So everybody talk about Dorsey, vanilla. He called a great play. Nobody wants to talk about that. They want to talk about everything else. Right?
It was a great call.
Right, great.
It was creative, and it was what they call a trick play. We haven't had very many of those this year.
Yeah. Spin wants to know where Shakir is. Cough. Waldo. Where's Waldo? I love it.
Cough, Shakir, cough, Waldo.
Waldo, yeah.
He was out there 20% of the plays. Josh just isn't looking his way right now. He did throw to him one time yesterday, and it was a PI.
Yeah, he doesn't have. I'm telling you guys, Josh. I've been obviously watching Josh since his rookie year. He has to build that connection, that trust, man. Mm-hmm. It's a trust, especially when you're not his number one. Like Diggs came in, he's the one he knows. John Brown came in, and Cole Beasley. John was the one initially, right? He's going to his one. He's going to trust his one no matter what. These guys aren't his one. Those are just facts. Like Shakir's is what, third, fourth option. You know what I mean?
So it started as his sixth option.
Right. So it's all about like trust and also reading. Like quarterbacks and receivers, sometimes they read each other's like mind in a weird way, their eyes, you know, like that play to Gabe Davis, for instance, the touchdown a few weeks back against the Patriots.
Yep.
That he wasn't like going, hey, this is a design play. I need you to roll. No, he read it.
Scramble drill.
Yeah, scrambled. And I don't know if Josh would trust Shakir at that moment, or if Shakir would even know what to do there. You never know. We haven't seen it. But I do trust Shakir if there's a play called for him to catch the ball and make a play.
He trusted him in the Pittsburgh game, threw it in his triple coverage, and he came down with it.
In the Baltimore game was also he trusted him when we needed some huge plays. I get that. But I still feel like right now it's that trusting for Josh. It takes him a little bit, man. It does. And you may not see it this season. And so Shakir gets more time. It's also reps, getting your number called. And I don't know if Shakir's number is getting really necessarily called on plays.
They need to call someone's number because the guys they're calling right now are inconsistent. So
yeah. And by the way, and we were talking about Dane Jackson. He's not. He's going to continue to play, guys. Spin. What's the 1 year where he had 13 different receivers with the touchdown? Taiwan Jones dropped. Yeah, it's 2020 when he had this epic year. The
would have broke the record, and Tyrone Jones dropped it in the back of the end zone.
Pass. Yeah, it was a nice pass too. It is what it is.
Right in the chest, dropped it. Would have broke the record.
Yep. But anyways, guys, Mikey's sick, and I wanted to do an hour because I wanted to get Mikey in bed. So we do our show.
Well, Tommy, I feel so honored that you want to get me in bed, brother. I don't go that way, but hey, I appreciate you.
That's how I roll, baby. No, I'm just joking. You dick. Anyway, I'll be right over to
tuck me in.
Tuck you in. Yeah. Get you a glass of milk. All right. So, anyways, you want a bedtime story tonight or no?
No, I'm good. I'm going to watch the Patriots lose. That'll be my bedtime story.
All right. So anyways, guys, Friday Night Lights, we'll be previewing the Bills versus Dolphins matchup. Yes. And Saturday, well, I might as well tell you all the breakdown. So tomorrow is Nuclear Heat Wave Wrestling Podcast for all you wrestling nerds out there. Wednesday is Rally Towel Sports. Thursday is Bucket Furia. That's NBA podcast. And then Friday Night Lights, we go on live at 8. And then Saturday, which will be a pretty cool show, AFC East Shakedown. Captain D is back. He's coming back. So that's
Captain D will be back, huh?
Yeah. So he'll be back talking Bills, Dolphins, and then obviously the Fantasy Kingdom at 2:00 and Backdoor Bills talk. So guys, I appreciate everybody. Did I miss anything?
Nope, just Scott being Scott.
Oh yeah, man. It's been a long time, man. Finally now he's sick and not
yeah. This is my best look when I'm sick. Tommy likes that sick look.
All right, guys. So thank you everyone for tuning in. We're out of here. Yep. Bills Mafia #1. Go Bills. Peace. Go Bills. And I'll play my outro that I always seem to forget. All right, here we go. All right. Here, this is from Mikey real quick.
You better wrap it up.
Peace out, guys.
And look at him go. He could go all the way. Touchdown. Touchdown! Touchdown! Touchdown!
The Bills make me wanna shout. Kick your heels up and shout. Throw your hands up and shout. Throw your head back and shout. Come on now, the Bills are making it happen now. Stand up now, come on and shout. Yeah,